Alright, so, just got back home from fucking watching Black Panther, and, oh my fucking god, man. Like, quite possibly one of the best fucking movies I've ever seen. I'm gonna try to do a spoiler list review right now, but, I mean, holy fucking shit. I gotta say, at the end of the movie, right? At the end of the movie, it just made me understand and realize why I do what I do, right? Why I draw the way I draw, why I draw the content that I draw, you know, why I do any of the shit that I do when it comes to this art stuff and the material that I use and the source material and, you know, ultimately drawing a majority of just black characters, but the children of the diaspora from all different forms. And as you watch the film, it was just fucking beautiful. Now, beyond it being, you know, a majority of a black cast, but a majority of black people on fucking screen, the writing was just unfucking believable. I mean, the writing was just unbelievable. As you go through the story, it was so deep, it was so emotional, right? And, you know, a lot of people, I hear the fear in their voices about watching it and feeling like it, you know, it may scare them because they feel like it may be militant. And it was quite the contrary, in my opinion. It was one of those things where the level, it spoke to everybody, right, to a degree. But if you were black and you were watching it, it was, you heard all the dog whistles, right? You heard all the little things that they were saying, all these little pieces that they were putting together. And, you know, there were so many parts, so many times in the film where I held back tears. There's so many times in the film where I literally held back fucking tears. Like, it was either tears of joy, right? Being able to see African culture, right? Untouched by European influence. And, you know, you look at it and at first you try to think to yourself, man, maybe it doesn't feel realistic, or maybe it doesn't seem that realistic. But if you know anything about Africa, some of the most precious metals, some of the most precious materials in the entire world are from Africa. And if you could imagine, right, if some of these places weren't destabilized, right? So you think about Benin Kingdom, which at one point they do reference in the film, right? Do your research and look up Benin Kingdom, right? Learn about Benin. Learn how they had multi-story buildings before a lot of people knew about that shit. Learn how they had city lights and people didn't lock their doors and they had fucking aqueducts and shit like that in Africa. These are places in Africa. These are things that are documented down. I know these things because I know my history. I know these things because, you know, I personally look up the source material of Africa. And for a long time I didn't, because I believed what everybody else wrote about Africa. Right, that were not from the diaspora. But beyond that, it was so bittersweet watching. It was so bittersweet seeing an African culture strive, right? And the references to that, and then the references to the lost children of the diaspora, right? To the rest of us who don't know ourselves, to the people who are lost to deculturalization, right? You know, every other culture, you know, and some of my best friends in the world are white. Right. But when black people were brought here, right, to America, to the West Indies, to England and shit like that, they were brought there and they were stripped of their culture. They were deculturalized. Every other culture that came to America brought their culture with them. The Italians brought their culture with them. The Irish brought their culture with them. Spanish people brought their culture with them, right? We're the only culture that's had that level of deculturalization stripped from them. It's the reason why we copy so many other cultures and people and nations, right? Is because we don't know ourselves, we don't know our culture, we don't know where we come from, we don't understand that, right? So we buy clothes and we spend money on fucking frivolous things and we want more so we can fit in. I did my my college essay and shit on black culture and the Zip Coon and kind of how that, you know, how that ties into what was happening today, right? And when you look at this fucking movie and all of the beauty of Africa comes out in it, right? All of the fucking patterns, all of the emotion, all of the music, all the style, none of the bullshit that's all brought into it that's basically like, oh, well, you know, like all the warring and shit between the two countries that they only like to show, and they don't show the built up civilized aspects of Africa, right? all of that shit that shone through, that if black people were able to be proud of themselves, if they were able to be proud of their own cultures, would have shined through. And you just fucking saw it, and it was so bittersweet, because it was like, this is what would happen, right? Think about Nigerians when they come from Africa, right? Think about it. Nigerians come from Africa. 63% of Nigerians that immigrate from Africa to America get advanced degrees. That's because they come with their culture. They know who they are. They don't need to fucking pretend to be somebody else. They don't need to jump on another thing where they need to be accepted. They are Africans. They are Nigerians. Every African person that I know who's from fucking Africa, they have a particular pride that most African Americans do not have, right? That we weren't necessarily given. And it's amazing because the fucking movie references that. And it was a beautiful thing being able to watch the movie next to white people. Because there were certain parts of the film, right, that you could see that they were like listening and they were getting the surface view of it. And then you can almost hear the black people nodding their heads and saying, mm-hmm, to the deeper levels of shit that were there. And it was just unfucking believable. Oh my God, man. The movie was so goddamn good. And anybody who knows me knows that I'm a movie buff. You know that I read comics and shit. You know that I'm also a DC guy. But oh my God, man, that fucking movie hit me in so many spots. There were moments, it was so bittersweet, because I'm like, damn, I'm watching this movie, and there will not be a movie like this for a very long time. I don't give a fuck about, you know, all these other shows that are kind of coming out and shit that are great. You know what I'm saying? But like a black film that had action, that was sci-fi, that was fantasy, that touched upon lore, just the level of respect they gave black people that I feel like you never see. Like, I feel you see black people are respected through a white lens, right? And here, there was just a level of respect that was given to it that you understood that black people also wrote the film, right? You tell that black people were not wrote it entirely, but was a part of the writing process. There were so many areas and realms where we've seen it go wrong, right? In this fucking weird direction. And you can tell that those are the same people that kept it online. You know, I'm hearing some of the dialogue and I'm like, I know that a black person wrote that dialogue, or I know that a black person edited that dialogue, because I've seen it tried before when they haven't had black people behind the screen and it fucking didn't work, right? Yo, what's up, everybody? Yeah, I'm sorry I'm not saying hi to everybody and shit, because I'm just going off. Yo, this movie fucking inspired me. And I should be going to fuck to sleep because I have so much shit that I need to do. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, man, like, this shit, oh my God, yo. If you are a black creator, you need to watch this shit. Because it puts you into a realm where if you're a black creator and you're not doing, and you're not necessarily doing, you know, things for the culture or black people or whatever, right? It makes you feel proud to be able to do that. For a long time, I grew up very fucking embarrassed about drawing black people. I just didn't draw black people. I remember my father asking me, yeah, I am talking about Black Panther. I'm doing a review, Kiss McQueen. And, he asked me why I don't draw people that look like me. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like, nobody wants to fucking watch that shit. I don't watch movies or shows or channels that have black people that are respected in that way, right? And whether they say it or not, for these black kids or black people that were growing up not drawing black people or not, there was a certain shame of it. Because we only knew so much about black culture. We only knew so much about black people, right? We only knew a tiny modicum of what they told us, so that way it was okay to demonize us. And it was just like wild. And when I watch this film, there's a level of reinvigorated pride. There's some times where, you know, like, I question myself when I'm doing this art shit, because I'm like, I am an inclusive person, right? I am a person who, like I said, some of my best friends in the world are white and they have my back, and we've literally shed blood and tears together and shit, right? And then I question, like, man, am I putting them in an arena where, you know, they feel like I don't value and cherish them? And then I watch this film and it's like, I can love them and love myself simultaneously, right? I can love them and love and have pride in my culture and, you know, where we really came from, man, and not be ashamed of that shit and put it in the forefront. And just the level of just fucking power, the level of fucking power. oh my God, man. Oh my God, there was so many moments, dog, where I just like, literally on the verge of tears. Part of the writing, you know what I'm saying, between father and son, between family, between, you know what I'm saying, like, just the whole aspect of it, man. My fucking keys out, bro. And like, they're just like these, I mean, yo, there's just these moments, man. And then there's just when you see it, when you see like, you know, very well dressed and just intelligent and just, you know, regular people who just happen to be black, who just happen to be like in a good place and affluent or whatever. Like, when you think of suburbs or you think of nice areas right here, you don't think of a place that's populated by black people. If I said, yo, I lived in the fucking suburbs, their first thought is not going to be like, yo, he lives around black people. You're going to be like, he lives around white people. So think about what a black suburb would be like. Right? Just think about that. Like, what's a fucking black suburb to you? I'm sure there are places in America that are like black suburbs, right? You know, where there were black Wall Streets that weren't torn down and destroyed and shit like that, right? But, just, yo, fucking, oh my God, man. It was just unbelievable to see that, dog. And you know what, man? And black women empowerment as well. I thought that was amazing. This week has been a fucking rough week for me, man, because I've been looking at a lot of people's artwork, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says when they're like, yo, fucking, what is it? When they're like, oh, don't look at other people's work and look at your own shit and, you know, whatever else and blah, 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 blah. Yo, I ran track in high school, and I easily could have ran it at the college level. And one of the things is when you're fucking chasing somebody, you can't see where art you're gonna go off. I actually did some art for Marvel and Disney, and I just needed to get it approved. So I got the approval for Vice Land like a couple days ago. The embargo should be up on me tomorrow, so I'll actually post my first piece of artwork tomorrow, and then all next week is just gonna be all Black Panther shit. I'm just gonna fucking go off. But yeah, it's just like yeah, like, yo, I grew up running track, and to be honest, like, you look at the people ahead of you, and you fucking chase those people. That's what happens. That's why you want to run in lane one, right? Because in lane one, you see everybody else ahead of you, and it gives you that added bit of energy to fucking push even further, right? And all this week, that's what I was just doing. And it's constantly what I do. I look at artists that are far better than me. You know what I'm saying? Nicholas Draper Ivy, oh my God, just amazing people. Mikhail Dingle, Metallica Lux Nova, just these amazing artists I'm consistently looking at. There's like another guy on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of his fucking name right now. I can't say his name right now because I'm on a rant, but I just look at their work and I feel like I'm so far behind, and I can't make what I want to make, and I can't bring to the screen what I want to bring to the screen. I can't show people what I want to show them. And it's because I feel like I need to work harder and be better and, practice more and, stop doing outside projects and influences and other shit. But, no, I was thinking of Tom Fox Chris Copeland. That's what I was thinking of. Chris Copeland, his fucking artwork's dope too. He actually just became an art director at DreamWorks. And, I just look at that shit, man, and I'm just like, yo, I see the movie and I'm like, it just gave me a newfound energy, right? I was feeling really down about a lot of shit this week, and it just fucking just a newfound power that was like, yo, you can't stop, and you have to do more, and you have to be more, because you have the capacity, right? And this is what you want to show people. When I watched that film, it had clicked. I was in the middle of what I wanted to do, or what I wanted to show people with my artwork when they asked me what I wanted, right? My boy Wes has asked me on multiple occasions. He's been like, dog, what do you want to do with this shit? And I just say, yo, I just want to be good. I want to be good so I can dictate what I want to do. And I want to be good because I want to show people a project like that. I want someone to read a comic that I do. I want someone to watch an anime that I do. I want someone to look at that. I want another black child to look at that and see that I've done reference, right? That I've looked deep into black culture, deep into African culture, right? And I've pulled that into it. And even now, when you look up character names and the backstories of the characters that I use a lot of African lore and a lot of African culture. I stopped using samurai swords. You know, I'm trying not to use things from Greek mythology and Latin mythology, even though I took Latin for several years. Like, I'm trying to do things that really connect back to Africa, right? Because there's a rich lore there. And to be honest, let's be fucking real. Like, a lot of things in lores and cultures and mythologies stem all the way back to the mother continent. And there's no reason why we couldn't be using that. And I watched that film and I said to myself, that's what the fuck I want to do. I want to have little black boys and girls and black men and women who haven't quite seen some shit like that and be like, I didn't even know that was a fucking thing. They referenced that in the movie. They referenced Benin. And I wish they would have called it a kingdom, right? Instead of like a tribe or whatever the fuck it was. Because that's exactly what it was. These niggas had stone walls. They had buildings. They had a fucking wall around it. It was a fucking kingdom. Right? And fuck, man. Even some of the fighting styles they were doing. Shaka Zulu had created a fighting style that was very similar to the phalanx and the Greeks used, right? And yo, shout out to everybody who's waving at me. I fuck with all y'all. Thank you guys for watching us and listening to me rant. And it was like they used that part of the culture. Like they used that stuff, man. And the entire movie itself was an experience, and it was a beautiful one and a heartbreaking one as well. Because I know that another film is not going to be made like that for a long time. 2, I can't even see that film again for a long time. I'm about to go again with my boy Jordan. I gotta watch it with him, and I'm probably gonna watch it with my dad again. And but it also, you just looked at it and it gave you a glimpse of what certain places in Africa could be if they were untouched. There are places in West Africa where niggas are mining gold out of their backyards, my G. It's fucking unbelievable. Yo, honestly, man, I'm not a religious man, but yo, God bless for this fucking film. God bless fucking Ryan Coogler, dude. God bless Chadwick Boseman. God bless Lupita Nyong'o. Yo, God bless all the people who were involved with making that film. Because I don't even think they understood what they fucking did. You know what I'm saying? I honest to God, I don't think they fully understand the repercussions of what they've done. There are fucking black people that were in that film, that were leaving that film. Ones who you can tell they didn't have their shit together, and they were ashamed. They were ashamed that they knew they could be worth more and that they were worth more and they didn't have their shit together. There are black people in that film who were woke, who had their shit together, and they were heartbroken. They were thrilled and heartbroken simultaneously. But it also made them say, yo, I need to go back out into the community and do what I need to do for my people. It was funny because they never fucking say that, right? African lore isn't as popular as Roman lore. It's not. You can use it, and I'm definitely going to use it to bring it to light. I'm going to do that all the time. And Danny and Guerrera, yeah, and for sure. And it's funny, as I should know the names of the women in the film because I did an entire piece for all 4 of them, besides Angela Bassett and Lupita Nyong'o and Letitia Wright. I should know the rest of the Dora Milaje as well. But there's just and it's funny because the film overtly didn't say that. The film overtly didn't say that. It didn't say, like, all the shit that I'm saying to you, it did not overtly say that. You know what I'm saying? The fucking crazy part of the film is that it was like, excuse me. It was like, it was a regular film to anybody else. Like, if you were Spanish, if you were, Italian, Greek, Chinese, Korean, Japanese, and you watched it, you're like, yo, it's a regular Marvel film. It was good. There were some emotional parts of it. The action was fucking cracked. The technology was off the fucking charts. And they're just like, and you look at that and they're just like, oh yeah, it was a good Marvel movie. There was a couple sitting next to us, right? And the girl was like, they act like they've never seen a Marvel movie. And I almost lost my shit. Like, there was a second where, and like, anybody who knows me knows that, like, I don't think men should even raise their voices to women. However, and I'm glad she was with her boyfriend, because I would have actually spoke to him and like, yo, if y'all didn't like this shit, y'all gotta go. Because niggas don't have anything. Like, literally every preview, all the previews, all the commercials that led up to it, it was all white people in it. Not even an Asian fucking person, right? There was a couple films that might have had a black nigga sprinkled in the background. And then it's like, you have the audacity to come to this film, and then people who love the film for a reason that you can't possibly get, right? And then you're just like, well, I didn't want to watch a film. And then she was like, and then when they did the Wakanda for everything, it seemed corny, and I was about to be like, get the fuck out. I was about to just lose him, like, yo, fucking leave, dog. Like, niggas can't have anything. I can't draw black people without people fucking commenting and sending me messages like, how inclusive are you being? It's like, dog, look at Jorge Jimenez, nigga. Look at some of these people who fucking draw for DC and Marvel. They only draw white people. Some of them only draw white people. Nobody says shit to them. You know what I'm saying? And I fuck with Jorge Jimenez. I love his work. That's why I followed him. He's he's an inspiration. But yo, it's like, it was so fucking powerful, man. It was just crazy, nigga. It was so fucking crazy. You know, I'm gonna stop now because I'm actually gonna draw. I thought I was gonna go in and go to fuck to sleep, but I want to keep talking more and I want to keep doing more, but I can't keep talking with y'all this entire fucking time. But what I will say is, if you haven't seen the film, see the fucking film. And honestly, I can't trust somebody who doesn't like the film. I can't. Because then you're just making shit up. Like, even if you weren't black and you watched that film, there were white people in that film who were losing their shit because it was fucking amazing. Because M'Baku was funny as fuck. Because there were just certain scenes in it that it didn't matter. It just fucking transcended everything. So even if you were like, damn, black people get on my fucking nerves, you still gonna be like, damn, that was still a good film. You know what I'm saying? But you are the most hated in the press because you were the most powerful. Falcon was the only black Marvel before Black Panther came out. Nah, I mean, niggas like to forget about Blade. You know, honestly, I've seen every Blade movie multiple times. One of my favorite lines of all time in a movie is, why a nigga's always trying to ice skate uphill. That was a fucking Blade line. That shit was hard as fuck. The current topic is Black Panther. I just saw it. Quite possibly one of the best movies I've ever seen. I'm actually going to post this on my Insta. Hopefully people watch it straight through. I think I'm actually going to download this and post it to my YouTube, man, as a fucking reaction because it's some real shit, man. Like, the film itself, dog, it's just, it fucking hit me on multiple levels, man. And, golly, dude. I'm not even joking when I said I almost cried, man. The first fucking scene that opened up when it was had me like really on the edge of my seat, like, oh my God, like, because it hit me that they're going to do the movie right. As it went through, as more and more shit started happening, I was like, God damn it, they're going to do this movie right. And it's going to break a lot of people's fucking hearts because they're not going to be able to get that again. And it's going to be hard because then you're going to have people who are going to try to imitate it, and they're not going to put black people behind the camera. They're not going to have the right amount of black writers writing. They're not going to have, you know, the right amount of black people behind the scenes to do it, and they're going to try to recreate it because they want black money. And oh my God. The only critique that I have with the film and with the entirety of everything, right? It's the only critique I fucking have. Is that no part of the film was shot in Africa. That's the only part, right? That only part of the issue that I have with the entirety of the production, with the entirety of the film. That no part of it was shot in Africa. And the reason why I say that is because people who work in film, people who know when you go to an area and you shoot there, you boost the economy there. Right? You give a little bit of money to that area. You got people that are eating out there. You got people that are going to spend money out there and shit like that. It boosts the economy. To a degree. Not only that, they have to pay for permits and shit like that. So if they want to shoot in a certain street in Africa, they got to pay that town a permit. They got to pay that city a permit. They got to pay those parts of Africa. That was the only thing. That was the only thing I could say about the film. I would have loved for there to be pieces in Africa. I would have loved for part of that money to have gone to certain places in Africa. That's it. Beyond that, it was a fucking amazing film. Ryan Coogler, fuck, dude. Oh my God, the acting. I'm actually going to hit up Michael B. Jordan after this, man, because I got to congratulate that nigga on his performance. It was fucking unbelievable. I mean, he wasn't a villain, he was an antagonist. And if you know what I mean by that, if you're a writer, if you're someone in the industry, you know what I mean by that, right? What up, Manny? You know what I mean by that. You know what I mean when I say the nigga was not a villain, he was an antagonist. It was unfucking believable, man. All right, everybody. I appreciate everybody who was watching. For people I didn't see, and people say things to me and stuff like that, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Benji Auto, thank you. I wish my art was better for you. I wish I could give you guys more and be a better artist and do more and give you that same experience. And this movie has made me realize that I can't quit until I've done that. You know what I'm saying? I can't stop until I've given you guys the experience that is necessary. And there's no shame in it. There's no longer fucking questioning it. Like, this is just what I feel like needs to be done. And like I always say in my post, I got the illest followers out there. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. Thank you guys for so much fucking with me. I am going to have some articles and stuff like that out in Vogue and ID, and I'm going to post them on my Instagram. I would love for you guys to repost those and fuck with those and really help me get my name out there so that I can grow what I want to do and help more people and be a part of the positive push into the movement. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Peace.